Why is Romney letting Obama and Democrats dictate campaign standards in the name of an appropriateness they never practice? You know, the demand for records and answers and such. These are reciprocal options. Romney is more than welcome to use them. He's got plenty of records for which he can level a demand, and it's intriguing that he doesn't do so. Anyway, without further ado, our regulars for this part of the week and this part of the show, Robert Weiner, Democratic strategist, columnist, former communications director for Clinton drug czar General Barry McCaffrey. He's also former chief of staff of the House Committee on Aging. Bob, good to have you back.
It's a pleasure, Alan, and the reason Romney is allowing the dictation is because he screwed up. He lied on his SEC form. End of story.
Boy. Only if you're the most abridged writer on the face of the planet, and words no longer have to have a meaning that is attached to them.
Yeah, I guess they don't have any meaning for Romney when he says, I'm the chairman, CEO, and managing director, but I'm not really doing anything. That's called a lie. And when IRS asked me and gave me 6 weeks to change the name of my company to match Maryland versus the federal number, they gave me 6 weeks. They didn't give me 3 years to make a correction.
Deputy Campaign Manager Stephanie Cutter refers to the governor as a felon. Why should anyone bother taking this crazy lady seriously any longer from this point on, Bob Weiner?
She's right. He lied on his SEC form. That is a felony. That's the end of that story to me, and the suggestion was made today as a defense, but it really should be offense, that Obama's people should file a complaint with the SEC. I agree. They absolutely should. Not only that, but you said Romney saved the Olympics. He took out $1.4 billion in tax money, and McCain said he fleeced the Treasury to get it. He covered up the drugs where the Austrian ski, and this is something I was the spokesman for the drug office, where the Austrian ski team had an entire room full of doping equipment, and he didn't do law enforcement to stop them because he wanted to hide it. He hid the scandal of the kickbacks that the Salt Lake bid committee did to get the Olympics, and he was brought in to cover it up. He did that. So it will be coming out how he actually didn't even save the Olympics.
Do you think it's intellectually consistent for the president, on one hand, to demand these tax records, but on the other hand, continue to refuse to fork over his own academic records in the interest of transparency? Hasn't the president been caught essentially belonging to the do as I say, not as I do club, Bob Weiner?
Well, actually, about a half a dozen Republican spokesmen on the Sunday TV shows all said that Romney should do what every other candidate has. Romney, his own party, is telling him to release it. And by the way, to Amy's main point about we should be talking about unemployment and productivity, she's absolutely right. The 750,000 jobs a month that Bush was losing at the end of his term have been reversed to 3 straight years of plus jobs.
Bob, what's your take on this? Do you agree with the president? Do you agree that, if you've got a business, you didn't build that, somebody else made that happen, quote unquote? Bob Weiner.
Well, I think what's missing here, Alan, is the workers. Corporations are holding back $2 trillion in assets while we're having a whole economic situation of unemployment.
Companies are successful despite the government, not because of the government. Bob Weiner.
I think it's a partnership. I think to dump all over government when there are catalysts and public servants are very dedicated people, and I certainly was one of them who really cared about doing the most I could for some 22 years, I think is a disservice to people who choose to go into politics and government. So I think it's a shared partnership, and unless the Republicans can ever come around to that, they're never going to get the votes of all the people that they're trying to just give the tax breaks to the rich to.